Joanne.
Yes.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you for having me back.
This is the first episode that you are an official member of the Say What Again Billy podcast. As a repeat guest, you're on the website. And
yes,
this is actually about the 1 year anniversary, technically, because you came on last year for the first time and you did a psychic reading. And today, that person that came through to you, it happens to be that individual's birthday.
Oh, wow.
So I found it very weird because we didn't really plan the date like, oh, let's do it on the same week that I came on originally. It was just kind of like, yeah, this works.
This works. Not even a thought. But I like to say, you know what? Maybe he took a liking to me and was like, yeah, let me coordinate this for them.
Yeah, so it's I've noticed that today, like midday, wake up for work. I work Sundays, and I was like, wow, today's my friend's birthday. At noon, I caught that, and I was like,
yeah.
And then I was like, wow, Joanne's coming on today. You came on about 4 or 5 days before his birthday, gave the psychic reading. That was the first time we met. So I found that pretty crazy.
Yeah. No coincidence, though.
No,
I don't believe in those.
No one here does. No one believes in coincidences. So a lot has changed since the last time you came back on. You have limelight now more than ever.
A little bit, yeah.
And you are on a TV show, 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way. And I was curious to ask you that being on television, now you're juggling your profession because you do this for a living. You're a psychic medium for a living. You do that. And now you're on TV. Many people are following, watching. How is that affecting your psychic abilities? Is it impacting it in any way? That you're on TV, like the negativity, the positivity?
I would say that it would, at first, it affected me, my energy. But it didn't really touch the psychic medium because that part of me, I keep it under wraps, if that's, you know what I mean? Like when I get a phone call from a client or I see that I have anything on the outside world disappears. It has nothing to do with it. Now I'm me and the client. That's it. And their friends if they wanted mediumship, you know. But for me, energetically, it did have a little bit of a negative effect for a few, I would say like a few weeks from when it first aired. But then I was like, you know what? This is not who I am. I'm not going to go back at people on the internet. I'm not going to try and defend myself. You know, you can't change somebody's mind, and honestly, it's none of my business what people say about me. So I said, I'm going to change this and I'm going to make it in a positive twist. So what I did instead was I brought light to it and said, hey, when does bullying end? At what age? And so I kind of went into that side of it. And I brought awareness to that because I do have quite a few people on my handles, and I was like, well, when does it end? You know, and as a medium, I can speak freely about that because a lot of times, unfortunately, I speak to many parents who have lost children of all ages because of their mental health due to bullying, being picked on, not feeling like they were worthy enough.
Right.
I mean, I'm from New York. I have a pretty tough skin. I've been called a lot worse than some of those comments, but it was a way of me saying, hey, let's bring awareness to this because not everybody has that.
I feel that because the friend I was talking about, unfortunately, is not here no more because of something in that category.
I know.
And it's the internet is a blessing and a curse.
Yes.
All at the same time. You could seek so much information on the internet and you can use it as a positive. But because of social media, people that never thought of being a bully have that empowerment to be a bully because they're never going to say that to someone in front of the, you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So you have your logic. My logic is when I get these comments, and I get comments and messages on the, you know, you're fake and
always.
Grow up, you're doing this. I'm like, I always say to myself before I get mad and try to indulge and entertain someone that's obviously a moron, I always say, you would never say that in front of me.
Right.
For multiple reasons. One, I would just probably rebuttal you, and you're going to bully me, I'm going to bully you back. That's just me. I was taught that way as a kid. My mom and dad always told me that someone bullies you, you bully them back, back at them. You know, don't let them hit you. Don't let them talk to you that way. That was just how my parents raised me.
Right.
Bronx boy.
Right.
But I'm like, I'm not even going to entertain you. You're not going to say that in front of me. And a majority of the people that are saying whatever they're saying to you, and I've seen a couple of comments on your page, and I'm like, ugh, you know what I mean?
Terrible.
Like it's like, I watch your clips and now I've refrained from reading the comments because people are that stupid.
Yeah.
And like there was times I would read a comment, I'm like, should I? Right? Nah, it's not even worth it.
It's not worth it, and that's the reason why I changed it to be more of a awareness. I wouldn't say positive because it's still going on, and not just to me, to so many people. But I was like, let's just bring awareness. I have the ability to do so. Let's do it. You know, as far as me though, as a psychic medium, no, like you're not going to touch that. Like that is my profession, and I'm not going to let you seep in that much that you're going to ruin the gift that I was given. Yeah,
I have a boss at work, and he's always telling me like when I'm down, he's like, you can't let the negativity of whatever's going on outside of here at work compromise you being here. I need you to focus. I need you to learn, to listen. And I've gotten a lot better with that. And that's the same thing for you, same aspect. You can't let the negativity from the living compromise anything. You know what I mean?
I have to switch it off. It's like a switch. It's like I see, okay, I have 35-minute psychic reading right now. Whatever's going on in the mundane, quiet. Flick it off.
You know what? A lot of people also, there's the jealousy factor. You know?
Oh, yeah.
You are on TV. You're a lovely lady.
Thank you.
You have a lovely family.
Thank you. Yeah.
Your husband, boyfriend, whatever we want to call him because of the TV show.
Because we can't say too much.
Yeah. We have
husband. Everybody knows that was the premise of the...
Right.
You know.
So I'm going to just say that you're doing well. You got a great family. Your significant other. Let's just leave it at that. You guys are great. From what we see, I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
So people are on the outside looking at their television, and they go on social media. They know that's you're the handle on the account.
Yep.
And they're going to try to rattle the cage. And unfortunately, you have to be careful on how you actually respond because now you're on TV and you have you're a psychic medium. And you got to be, it's just, they try to get under your skin.
The most important thing for me is to sit back and say, okay, am I going to respond to this or am I going to use it as an example? And that's what I did with some of them. I made a reel on it to make it, well, not only make them an example, but also to bring awareness. And it wasn't for people, I wasn't fishing for compliments. It was more so, hey, look at this. What's going on here? You know, we're in a time of women support women, you know, and I go on my lives and I talk about it. I'm like, why do women support women until there's a hot guy in front of their face?
Yeah.
And now we're just not supporting women anymore. But then the psychic medium in me goes deeper and says, okay, were these people the bullies or were they the ones being bullied? Because there's more damage there than just that. And of course, doing what I do for a living, I didn't just look at their pictures and say, oh, well, she's beautiful, or oh, she's not so pretty because of what she's saying. I looked at those pictures. Those pictures tell me 1,000 words about them, about their energy, about where it's coming from.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
While we're on that?
Yeah.
When you look at the people commenting, do any spirits pop in from that individual because you're focusing?
I'm focusing.
And they're telling you, hey, she or he, them, or whatever, is this way because of X, Y, and Z. And then they fill you in, they meaning the spirits?
Yeah. I won't read anybody without the permission of them, but simply by you showing your face to me on my handle and speaking ill of me that pretty much you just gave me the permission because you're opening yourself up to
you're starting
my handle, and that's it. So, and I look and I see way more than they would ever know that I could see. And yeah, I do know where a lot of it comes from. Some of them is just to talk, just to hear themselves talk, and that's okay. But most of them is not. Most of them goes way deeper than that. And so then that healer part of me wants to say, call me. I want to help you. Because this is deeper than you just seeing me and being like, oh, he's way out of her league. Deeper than that, you know. Yeah. And I want to be able to help them. But I can't do that because now I can't reach out to them and be like, hey, let me help you.
You know, it's crazy because it's very sad, especially nowadays, because mental health is something that's very, very big topic.
Huge.
And for every bully that's active now, that bully was made by another bully, you know, or a traumatic experience in the family of that person. That's the whole reason it's happening. And you would think, because of the internet, you know, instead of going onto your page and bullying you, you would find another page that actually gives tips on how to combat what they're going through, which is just...
Well, I like to say, you know, that's something that I, as a practicing witch, that is something that we're taught. We need to dive deeper into our shadow work. What is it about this person who's sitting in front of me that is triggering me? Why is it that they're triggering me? Because the world is a mirror. What is it that's bothering me inside of me that's making me act out on them?
Right.
And, you know, we call it shadow work, but others can call it self-healing, growing, whatever you want to call it, maturing even. But you do need to heal yourself. You need to heal your inner child. And so I try to combine all of that. And that's what causes me to not respond. Because I'm like, maybe shadow work wasn't done. Well,
that's something, unfortunately, that's never going to go away. No. I see it on every aspect. I see it on sports pages, celebrity pages.
You know, like live and let live.
It's going to never end, unfortunately. And we here at the podcast are very proud of you. We're happy to have you as one of our own, a friend.
I'm happy to be here.
And
to be a friend, and to be one of you guys.
We support you 100%. And one of my personal friends, you know, if we have time after, I gotta FaceTime him. He wants to say hello to you.
Okay.
He's a fanboy.
Really?
We have a beach club. And when the show dropped, the beach club was still open. It was still summertime, like, you know, warm weather. And he's like, dude, Joanne's episode, awesome. She rocked it. Like, so when we're done later, I got to give you a quick FaceTime with him. He is like huge fan of you. And I was like, I'm going to make that. I'll let them meet. But to get off the television.
Yeah, please.
Leave it alone.
Leave it.
I just had to ask because I want to know what was going on with the abilities. Yeah. It's just, I come up.
Ability-wise, nothing. Energetically-wise, yes. And some would say, well, that is the same. But no, it's not, because you switch it off.
As a host in the last week and a half, like, all right, Joanne's coming on. Let's see what we got going on. What questions can we pick her brain about? Yeah. And that was the first question that popped into my mind because, you know, I got things going on at home. Obviously, not to your level. I'm not on TV. And I'm like, all right, you go about your daily life and there's other things that conflict with what's going on. Like, I know what I'm editing on Mondays, Tuesdays. I'm juggling.
Right.
You know, I'm juggling the dad life. I'm juggling the gym and editing. So I just wanted to know what that is like, because that's a whole different ballgame.
It's tough. And if you're not in a good mental space, it could really tear you down.
Yeah.
So you got to be pretty strong. You have to stand in it. And
so cut the bullshit, everybody.
That's it. Like, I'm like, all right, goddess, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Are we fighting fire with fire, or we're just going to do love and light and everything right?
Right.
For the most part, I go with the light.
So we're in spooky season now.
Yes.
Okay. We're in. I wanted to ask you, I've seen that you are putting promotions up for your sister.
Yes.
And I know when you were on in previous episodes, you said that your sons have a little bit of abilities as well.
Yes.
And each one is different. A little different. Now, I didn't even know you had a sister until not too long ago.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious on how her abilities and readings are different from you. Because a couple of weeks ago, went to Jersey to interview another psychic medium.
Okay.
You've got me very intrigued in psychics now.
Yeah.
And I went from kind of a non-believer to definitely a believer from going on an investigation with you,
Yep.
doing what you did last year. So now I'm like, I went from borderline non-believer to like, I'm going to like research psychics now.
Yeah.
So how does your sister differ from you, if there's differences?
There is. So I'm a medium, and so I talk to the other side, whereas she is not. She reads the tarot, but she's clairvoyant and she's clairaudient, so she could still hear messages, she could still see, but she doesn't zone in so much on the other side the way, say, I would.
Okay.
Where I'm like, okay, this one is coming through, that one is coming through, and she used the tarot as her divination tool. Yep, the cards.
The cards.
I don't use cards. I just shuffle through them, as you had seen last year, right? I just shuffle through them. She turns them over, and she allows the story to
take place.
Yeah,
I remember you telling me. I won't forget it. I'll tell you something funny too. But you were shuffling, and I remember you vividly saying you were sitting in the same position too.
Yeah,
it was the
right
exact spot.
Exact
which
spot.
is ironic, because I set it up this way, and the guys couldn't come today. So
yeah,
I was funny. No coincidence.
No coincidence.
So you said to me, "I'm shuffling through the cards, and if one does fall out, we'll figure out what it meant.
I'll interpret it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you could play poker. You're pretty good. You got them. You got them down pat.
Got them down pat. Not always. Sometimes there's something left out that spirit wants me to say.
Right, but it happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was in Jersey, and I was interviewing psychic Danielle Taverna. Mm-hmm. And we wrapped up filming. I had a buddy of mine come and help me out. Again, because my guys couldn't come. So I had to pick somebody. Yeah. This time they didn't chicken out. This guy was like, I'm coming. I love this stuff. He's a cool dude, Bobby. And she was picking up on someone in his family.
Oh, okay.
Like right at the beginning of the interview. She's like, your mom. I was like, what? So I went to him. I'm like, you, and everything wrapped up. And she was talking. She's like, yeah, I'm picking up on a whole bunch of stuff. I turned to her so quick. I was like, whatever you're getting about me, don't tell me. I was like, I had one psychic tell me some stuff, and it really did kind of like hit me. Like, if you watch the video of me and you doing that psychic reading, my mannerisms changed. Like,
yeah.
I did, and I was like, nah, I don't.
Yep.
No more from me. I don't want to. That's it. And then at Joey's daughter's birthday back in August.
Oh yes. This
guy was sitting down, and you guys got to talk.
I would love to talk to him. I would love to talk to him.
I'm in the works of. I got his phone number now, and
okay.
I think he'll come on as long as we don't divulge too much.
Yeah.
For that episode, when we get him on, which we can do now with this. This is a cool device.
It's awesome.
We'll put a track. We call him in, and you can hear him.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And like we're talking to one another. It's like he's here, but he's not. But I think that would be highly. I think you would find him.
From what I heard, because you did an episode where
I tried to recall as much as the story as I humanly could.
I was like, this man is so interesting. Also very scary. By the way, I am a psychic medium. No, I don't hide it. I'm a chicken shit. So I'm like, hold on a minute. Because I believe 100% that he does have a gift. And that whole telling you when and how.
Oh, no.
Like, I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to talk to him. But I do, because he's interesting.
Had Joey's mother-in-law as basically an alibi, a witness to it. And they told me the story, in synchronicity.
That is so crazy to me.
And he started like rocking my world, telling me about free will. And he was like, you think free will stops here? I'm like, yeah. He goes, no. He's like, when you pass away, you have a choice. You can go to the other side. You can stay here. You can come back. He's like, I've been back. He's like, I've lived many lives. I'm like, that's why I named the episode The Man with Many Lives.
Yeah.
And I was like, he blew my mind with that.
Well, past life is very real, past life. And I do past life regression readings as well. And it's very, it's so interesting. It's always interesting to me when the client books a past life regression reading with me And they come in with this thought of what their past life was. And then as the session goes on, they realize, wait, maybe I wasn't that. You know?
Right.
Oh, holy shit, maybe I was. Or maybe you were, all of it. Because I don't know how many times you were here, but I can definitely, through the reading, tell you what you were that I'm picking up on. But he's very interesting.
I would have liked to known that. Amy wanted a reading, which surprised the shit out of me. I was like, "What? You wanted?" Because he was.
Oh my gosh!
Talking to her, and he was kind of.
I remember you saying that your wife was interested, and I was like, "Wait, she's normally scared of that."
Yeah, he was doing, and he was like, "This is not the time and the place," which I understood. It was a party. There was a lot going on. It was a lot for me to try to listen to him because it was a kid's birthday party. But he was. I would have loved to know that though. Like, what was my if that's true? Was I,
Does he do that? Did he mention, or he just knew about his own?
Oh, he didn't mention anything about us.
Okay.
He was just saying about his. He said that he remembers dying in a forest as a German. He could speak and understand German. I asked him, "Do you still understand German?" Now he does. I do. I just won't speak it because obviously it was his past life.
Right.
I started bringing up my interest. My. I have a love for Japanese culture.
Okay.
And when I was growing up, and you can even ask my parents about this, I naturally learned like weaponry. Mm-hmm. And my mom and dad was like, "Oh, I was from Ninja Turtles," but I was good at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was.
Ninja Turtles didn't teach you that.
No, I was like really good at it. Like my dad, I'll never forget the story. We were with one of his coworkers or friends, and he got me like fake nunchucks, and his friend asked him, he was like, "Hey, where does your son go?" And he takes karate. He goes, "No, he's teaching himself." Until I did go into martial arts officially, I was curious if he would take that hint, like tell me.
Yeah.
Was I a Japanese samurai at one point? But he didn't do it. The guy's very stern.
He definitely has the ability to do it, but he sets boundaries. But we all have to.
So you have this like welcoming, jolly demeanor, and when it's time for business, you take it down a notch, but you're very welcome. And don't take offense to this, I know they're going to watch, but he has this just unbreakable demeanor. He sat there.
He's an observer.
Monotone, very good. Yes.
An observer.
He observed the shit out of everything.
An observer. Yeah.
And he didn't lose track of the story. Like we were talking and like the kids would come over, someone would offer us food or drinks and he'd stop the story, look at us, continue right where he left off.
He was borderline. That's amazing.
Intimidating.
That's amazing.
He was borderline intimidating.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, he was. So you and him would have that conversation would be, and I know I'm going to tell Joey next time he comes, I want him in the studio.
Oh, I would love.
We won't film the video, but just to have him talk in person, that would be. But for now, we'll try to get him on the phone. But
that would be so cool.
I think you and him would have an exceptional phone conversation.
We'd have so much to talk about.
I would just sit back and listen.
As long as he allowed it to happen, of course, because again, it's those boundaries. You know, if maybe he doesn't want somebody to pick his brain, but I wouldn't be considered picking his brain. To me, it wouldn't be that. So please, if you're watching, I don't want to pick your brain. I'm fascinated.
Right.
Because it's somebody else who has that ability, but to a different level.
Right.
So that always interests me. You ever get two healers in a room, they don't shut up.
He was telling me stories that he traveled and people were like, I don't know, he went to some place. Again, I'm going off memory, but he was like telling me like they stopped him and like, whoa, dude, you got a lot going on. You know what I mean? Like they were picking up on him and he sees apparitions. He said that he was going on a trip, may have been Arizona, and he saw something waving. He was telling his lady, Joey's mother-in-law, "Do you see that? You see them over there?" And then he said something about a picture. You could see it. It's crazy. He's interesting.
That is so interesting.
Very interesting individual.
Yes,
100%.
Sounds it.
Very interesting.
I'd love to speak to him.
I'm gonna try to make that happen.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to make that. I'm sure he's watching because they've both been watching. So we'll make it happen. But now that we're in spooky season and this is the harvest, right?
We're getting closer to Samhain, which is Halloween, for those who don't know. And we celebrate our ancestors. The veil starts to thin. You could pick up a little bit more signs. But here's a fun fact for everybody who doesn't know this.
I got one for the podcast. Nick's notes. Joanne's fun facts.
Joanne's fun facts.
Go.
Here we go. Are you ready for it?
Let's do it.
A medium can speak to the dead every single day of every single month. Please. When people book with me, just because it's October, and I think that I speak for, and I will never speak for anyone, but I could speak for most mediums who will say, we can speak to them whenever you want, whenever you give us the permission to. It does not have to be October, but that goes with the whole aesthetic of it.
Absolutely.
You know, however, we honor our ancestors during this time. And as Samhain approaches, you know, I'm going to be leading another women's circle in October. And we're going to be honoring the ancestors. So there's going to be a lot of quiet time during that circle to allow people to just say, hey, thanks for being around. Another fun fact
Two
is even though the veil is thinning now, and people could disagree with me on this, but I have found in my own experience, when you really want to feel your ancestors, your family, your friends, it's that liminal time between Christmas Day and New Year's Day. That week where there's time, like time doesn't almost exist in that week if you think about it. It's just like we're in this in-between, so to speak.
Interesting.
People are celebrating this. Some celebrate, some don't. Some celebrate other holidays around that time.
Right.
But across the board, from what I've seen in all different religions and all different, just as a human, from December 25th until January 1st, there is this liminal time because I find they just want you to know, hey, we're with you. We're around you. We're celebrating with you. We're eating that cake with you. We're having that fish with you. However
Champagne,
it is
yeah.
that you celebrate. And that's my other fun fact.
I've actually never heard of that window. You know, you would think it's jolly times. Obviously, to some families and friends, it's very sad because some
course.
people aren't here no longer. Never heard that. So,
But I find that because people think, or because people are sad that people aren't here any longer, that's especially when they want you to know, I'm here. I'm still here. I'm still celebrating with you.
right.
Let's eat. Let's eat. Let's drink. Let's dance. Let's do whatever.
That's very interesting. I never heard that window. You know, you would think. Actually, my question was going to lead to, you know, are your abilities that much stronger this month because the veil is thinning? You know, but that was interesting that your family, getting through to your family that week. I'll keep that in mind for that week from December 25th to New Year's Day or New Year's Eve.
That one is, yeah, that's a big one. That week is just, I'm like, okay, you're around. For me, I don't ever speak to my own family who has passed. It's just, it comes with a gift.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't ever hear from them unless there was something really wrong. But other than that, I don't speak to my own people who have passed on. But during that week,
By choice?
no, I think it's just, they're like, you're doing your thing. We're here. We're your spirit team. We're protecting you. But keep doing your thing. If we need you to know something, we will. If you need us, just ask us. And we're here. But I'm a very also firm believer in, you know, it's rest in peace for a reason.
Right.
Let them rest.
Right. You said that a few times before. You actually, yeah.
I'm very firm on that because that's what causes hauntings.
I like hauntings, though.
I know. But that is what causes it because you keep calling them and you're calling them and you call. How can they rest? So I'm very, like, I will tell people, okay, if you want to do a mediumship in October, let's not do a mediumship again until maybe another 6 months. Like twice a year, I think is suffice.
Right.
You know, you want to talk to them. You yourself can talk to them any day, but let's not do mediumship. But that's just my opinion. And opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Right.
So there you go.
Yeah, we could see that, right? Everybody,
Right,
everybody
you
has
know?
an opinion lately.
Indeed.
That's crazy. Yeah. So October is it's like, I wanted to ask you this because I asked the guys, I asked Tim who filled in last week and Joey that we're in spooky season.
Yeah.
And I know I keep saying it, but we are.
Yeah.
But what do you look forward to in the month of October? I know I'm looking. I told everybody last week that I looking forward to the Sleepy Hollow trip. We're going to be there as a group, and it's not like last year where I went and it was hot and it was drizzly out, kind of like the equivalent of the weather today, but warmer. It's the fall, the trees, the changing of the colors, everything that Julie posts on her
fall.
Everything on her page that she posts that looks beautiful, I'm going to get to see this year there.
Yes.
Awesome. Spend time trying to find this bronze. I'm looking forward to that.
Lady?
Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to all the TV. We already got 30 days of Halloween.
Yes.
The whole. What do you like about the month of October when it comes to Halloween? I get a little closer to the mic there.
Yeah, I love the fall period. So just the season of the fall. There is that crisp air sometimes.
Love it.
Sometimes. I don't know. We don't have it today, I don't feel like. And then it is the only time that if some people are still in the broom closet, that they can come out and they could just be them without anybody looking at them and being like, you're a weirdo. You would think that you wouldn't have a lot of that now because it's 2024, but you still do. And I'm happy for those people. Like me, I'm a witch all year long, whether it's October, July, it doesn't matter. But for some who are still, in that closet, it's nice because they could come out and play.
I think my coworkers will pretty much say, yeah, he's weirdo all year round. He doesn't wait for the month of October.
Well, you like to chase the ghosts and do the things and scare your woman. She's like, don't come in this house.
Yep. At work, I talk about this stuff, and people know I have a podcast there. And one of my coworkers is actually setting something pretty cool up. I'll tell you off air. Okay. Because it's kind of like. Yeah. But excited for that, too. Okay. Joe, if you're listening, Joe, you know who I am. Not our Joe. Joe, you know. But I'm looking forward to that, too. And then he's also he's one of the big fans of the podcast, really, that guy. So he's setting something. Joanne, Joe, I know he's going to listen or watch. And Julian now, too. Julian, a shout out. But I just like the fall it just hits different. The month of October just hits different. That crisp air that you were alluding to, that we only just have wet, cold weather today. It's not crisp, but
it's not crisp at all.
You wake up in the morning. There's definitely a vibe.
There is an energy that comes with October. That's for sure. I also think it depends on where you are. When I'm in Salem in October, it's a lot different than being in New York in October, which would be a lot different than being in Ireland in October. It's where you are,
I can imagine Ireland is like a different energy.
It's gosh.
1,000 castles.
It's amazing energy there. For me, you would think the chicken shit of all. I'm like, these are all amazing places. They're all amazing. But Sleepy Hollow has its own vibe. I believe each town has its own vibe of like how much of the Halloween spirit do they want to bring in.
I was going to ask you that. So you go to Sleepy Hollow often.
Yep.
We're going back, a few weeks now?
Yep.
And you go to Salem.
Yes.
Like yearly.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Who has the spookier vibe? Salem or Sleepy Hollow?
It's a different energy. Sleepy Hollow has that, it's almost like a quiet, like it's a...
Sleepy?
Yeah. It's weird. It's like that, oh God, I can't even describe. It's not as chaotic. Salem has chaotic energy in October.
Can imagine.
It's chaotic. They're telling stories over and over again about these witch trials that took place. People are coming from all over, but the same thing is happening in Sleepy Hollow now. People are coming from all over, but it's just almost like an eerie silence in Sleepy Hollow. Salem is it's just chaos.
When we went to do the episode video thing for our YouTube page, I went there with every intention to find ghost stuff. Yeah. As a kid, when I had my paranormal research group, we went there. We went to Sparta Cemetery, which is technically not Sleepy Hollow. It's a little further down the road. But, you know, it was like haunting and the Headless Horseman. And I was like, there's got to be ghost stuff here. Even if you go online, this is where the internet can deceive you. There's like all these haunted places. Now, there are haunted buildings there. I actually looked at a couple of them online.
Horse Feathers is haunted. The restaurant is haunted.
She said things happened there. She said things happened in her apartment when I was talking to her kind of like off camera. But there's a couple of places, but it's more historical. If I learned anything from our visit last year, it's more historical. And when we go back, we're literally trying to find one of the ghost tales in the cemetery there that U.S. Today did an article about. The newspaper U.S. Today, they did an article.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's I'll pull it up on the screen here. But they did an article on the Bronze Lady. And when we went to the cemetery, Joey and I and another friend, we walked and walked. I mean, we didn't know we can drive through there. I didn't know that. You can. Yeah. Didn't know that. So we're going to use the map that's online, and we're going to try to find the Bronze Lady, walk to her, find her, test out the
your gadgets.
Gadgets. There's a thing where if you sit on her lap.
Who's doing that?
Joey.
Yeah, right.
Joey.
Is he?
That's we are trying to get Joey.
I will not believe it until I see it. I'm gonna. Okay.
We want, but he keeps saying no. He's like, nope, not happening. So unless we hit 10K, which I don't think will happen in the next couple of weeks, but
you might.
Hopefully.
And if you do, then he sits on her lap.
I would love that, but
amazing.
We gotta
get to 10K.
I'm gonna end up doing it.
You will.
I'm gonna end up. Yeah, I don't. I told Joey, I was like, Joey, I'll sit on any statue's lap, Abraham Lincoln, if I was allowed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm a non-believer before I'm a believer. I think this was just. I think there is a history to the tale, which we'll get into when we do that episode, courtesy of Nick or me. But there is a history to it. It overlooks a Civil War general.
Yep.
Real person.
Yep.
Statue. There's a history to it. Is the ghost tale real? I don't think so. You know?
We'll see.
There's always a story of a lady that walks around the cemetery anyway. We're going to... Well, I haven't announced it yet, but we're going to go to Oakland Cemetery in Yonkers.
Okay.
It used to be named something else.
Okay.
And it's one of the older cemeteries in New York.
Okay.
And there's a tale of a lady in white that guards that from kicking people out that are going to go and do what I'm doing, walking around looking for ghosts.
Okay.
You know, every cemetery, but we're going to go there, see if that tale is true. You know what I mean? What I'm alluding to is Sleepy Hollow is not really... Besides from that and a couple of the other places, I think a library or a couple of buildings there, they said, what is it? I'm blanking on the name. There was like the first producer of work there, the mill there.
Okay.
I'm drawing a blank. But a couple of the buildings they say are haunted, and that's about it. So when we went, Joey and I, Julie, she showed us some history.
Yeah.
About
lots of history
Major Andre.
Yep.
And that was it. You know, we didn't really get anything spooky. Yeah. Nothing at all.
You guys should definitely go up to Salem.
Not in October.
But no. God, no. No, please. But any other time of the year, if you wanted to do a road trip, and there are some of the most haunted places there. The hotels. I
was just going to say there's a hotel there that's haunted.
There's more than one that is haunted. And I've experienced it myself. So the Hawthorne Hotel is the haunted one that everybody knows about.
Right.
And it's a certain floor and it's a certain... you will not catch me there. But then there's the Salem Inn where my family and I would go all the time.
Right.
And I will never forget sleeping on... We were on the 3rd floor. And it was a suite. It was a family suite. So it was me, my mom, my 2 aunts, and my sister. And my mom, my other aunt, and my sister were in one room. And then me and my other aunt were in the other. And we had the door closed in between us. Let me tell you, the things that were going on our side of the room, me and my aunt were up all night. We were like, what the fuck? Banging on the door, knocking on the door, windows slamming shut. I was like, kept me out of here.
Wow.
But what was great about it is that we didn't know that place was haunted. Like we didn't know because we've stayed there before and we never had that experience. And then a few years down the line, we went back to the same place because we always stayed at the same place.
Right.
And it was me, my sister, and my best friend, one of my best friends. We went into this room. We were like, this is weird. This is a weird room. My sister was like, hell no, I'm not staying in here. My best friend looked and she was like, that thing just moved on the mantle from there to there. Get the fuck out of here. And so we went to the woman at the front desk and she's like, oh yeah, that is a haunted room. And we were like, why would you put us in there?
Wow.
She's like, well, most people want to come and they want to stay in haunted rooms. We're not them people.
We got to make a trip to Salem. There's a couple of places I want to go. I'm looking at the Devil's Tree in New Jersey right now. I'm looking, I keep saying every year, I want to go back to Gettysburg. I'm trying to get a couple of days to go to Gettysburg.
There's something about that energy there as well.
I've got to go back, but I'm staying in the Farnsworth house. And then we got to go, so that's on the radar. Salem, Gettysburg, and another trip to Jersey. Because I like this stuff. Like
it's interesting.
After doing the haunted house with you, I got the itch back, and we've been
we got to do more.
We've been doing more, and I really, really like it. I do.
Yeah.
So, Joanne, it was a pleasure having you back on.
It was a pleasure being here,
and
as always.
Like I said, you are part of us now, so the sky's the limit. Whenever you want to come back on, I'll always reach out, be like, are you available this day?
Love it.
Gonna make that interview happen.
Yeah,
that's gonna be interesting. And what do we got? October 14th, what is that, like 16, 18 days away?
Not that far away.
Not that far away.
Nope.
We're going out there. We're going to film something that will drop later that week.
Yes.
So I can't.
Excited about that.
Absolutely can't wait.
Definitely excited about that.
And this was a big thank you. This is all made possible by Spotify for Podcasters. If you haven't heard about Spotify for Podcasters, it is the free app that allows you to get your podcast idea out there. So if you have a phone, tablet, or computer and you want to start your own podcast, head over to Spotify for Podcasters to do so. YouTube, you got to learn yourself on how to do that.
No.
Whole different thing.
Challenged.
And of course, before I got here, I was really hungry. Mm-hmm. And I went to Rock Body Fitness Cafe, which has 2 locations, Bronx, New York, or New Rochelle, New York. And if you don't know about Rock Body Fitness Cafe, it is the place where you can get your healthy meals or protein shakes made right there on the spot, or you can actually order and have them deliver, and you have your meals set for the week.
Oh, nice.
Awesome place. So if you don't know about Rock Body Fitness Cafe, head over to their website and check them out. Of course, 2 locations, Bronx, New York, and New Rochelle, New York. Next time you come, we'll go for a quick bite.
Yes, awesome.
It's an awesome place.
Sounds it.
Joanne, again, thank you for coming over today.
Thank you for having me.
It was awesome. I'm going to be looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Same here.
And until next time, This is another episode of the Say What Again Billy podcast.
Bye.